And forgive me for going back on Musk's attacks. You've described what he has been alleging as lies against Jess Phillips. This morning, he said you should be in prison. You're a lawyer. That sounds libelous. Will you take legal action against him?
On the question of staffing and resources, of course, there's always a challenge on staffing and resources, and that's why it's important that we've got the workplace plan coming on board for more resources and more staff, why we put the resource in at the budget. But let me be clear, the agreement with the private sector we signed this morning is not in some kind of substitution or as an alternative to the mainstream work with the NHS, of course. But through reform and efficiencies, we can make a material difference. It is worth, if you have time, I mean this in the proper sense, to talk to some of the staff here, because they've talked me through this morning some of the innovations that they've gone through that are cutting time the whole time. They're getting through many, many appointments here, the way they're processing the cases. This has all come from them. We asked them how these innovations come about, and they said it's our thinking about how we can improve the process. They're constantly doing that. So I don't sort of accept the basic argument that's put to me that you can only work at the pace we're working now, you'll never get more out of the staff and resources we've got. Actually, the staff here and in many, many other places across the country are very willing to look at ways of improving and changing the way they do things. And of course, technology comes on top of that. Look, in relation to, I mean, I've said quite a lot about the various lies and misinformation that are put out there. My record is, it's open. I mean, there was nothing secret about being Director of Public Prosecutions. Every single case I prosecuted went to court and was looked at by a judge. I had an independent inspectorate, had access to every single file of every case anytime he or she wanted, and I was overseen by the Attorney General, which for 3 of the 5 years was a Tory Attorney General. So that record, I mean, and so in a sense, rather than me trying to say any more about what I did when I was in office, you can access this material, you know where it is, you know what the facts are. But it is an important point that's more, the reason I've emphasised this today is because it's more, this isn't about whether I defend myself or my record, frankly. That record is there, you can see it, you can make your own mind up. It is something about the nature of our politics. Because once we lose the anchor that truth matters, in the robust debate we must have, then we're on a very slippery slope. And when politicians, and I mean politicians, who sat in government for many years, are casual about honesty, decency, truth, and the rule of law, calling for inquiries because they want to jump on a bandwagon of the far right, then that affects politics, because a robust debate can only be based on the true facts. And that's why this is actually an important point about our politics, not about what anybody may or may not say on Twitter. That actually isn't the main issue. The main issue is, what are politicians here doing to stand up for the things that matter to our democracy and the way that we have robust debate? That's why I want to call this out, because I think it really matters. And it matters not just to me, not just to the Labour Party, but it ought to matter, and it used to matter, to all political parties. And it's a sign of where the Tory party have got to, that we're even having this debate. Thank you very much.